I'm getting awesome, you're getting awesome, we're getting awesome, yeah, that's what I said now. I'm getting awesome, you're getting awesome, we're getting awesome, yeah, that's what I said. What's up, guys? It's the AwesomeCast. This is your host, Mike Sork here. Look, we have titles, we have lights, it's festive in here, it's fantastic. We're very excited. We got a very special episode. We're trying a lot of new things, and I learned Wirecast. Look at that right there. But of course, on the couch, in studio, his first live appearance in studio. Never mind the Wrestling Mayhem Show banner in the background. That's some product placement. But right there on the right is my co-host, Rob De La Creta.
Hey, it's me. Yeah, you know, excited to be on this luscious, is this a burgundy couch?
I just call it purple.
Purple? Okay.
I just call it purple. I'm happy with the purple.
You call me purple. It's alright.
Alright, yeah, you know.
Okay.
Oh, you're good. You're just chilling. And, right there to his left, your right. No, wait, I've got them all confused now.
Their left.
Their left.
Their left.
Their left. Your
My
right.
right.
All right, now we got everybody suited. Rob Meyer, how you doing?
Hey.
Of course, you're from NoWait app, or sorry, NoWaitApp.com, NoWait, which we'll be talking about here in a second, and also on the line from Texas, right?
That's right.
I'm correct in that.
Austin, Texas.
Richard Colvin, how you doing?
Doing great. Thanks for having us.
Like I said, we're going to try something new. As you know, we like to talk to a lot of the local stuff going on, a lot of local companies. We're big fans of the guys coming out of Alpha Lab, of which you guys are included. So we're going to be talking about the NoWait app that has been just, I believe, in the past week put out on the App Store. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think it's been about 2 weeks now.
About 2 weeks?
Yep.
Excellent. If you guys want to explain what is NoWait and what does it do?
Yeah, sure. Well, I'll start off. We're pretty excited about the company. What we're trying to do is take the frustration out of the seating process at no reservation casual dining restaurants.
Mm-hmm.
The way that we're doing this is with our iPad app, which we call NoWait Host, which we'll show you in a second, and then integrating that with text messaging, so restaurants can engage and communicate with their waiting customers over text message. And as our name kind of implies, we're trying to take out a lot of the waiting experience in these waiting list type restaurants. And we named the company NoWait to kind of indicate that.
Excellent. Now, I think you got it over there, Rob. Do we have, go ahead and put that on camera. We want to show people what the application is and what it does. You're looking there. Good positioning there. Good. Like a pro.
Yeah.
Like a pro.
I know what I'm doing.
There you go. Can you explain what's going on here?
Yes. So our app is used by the restaurant host or hostess. So this is a business application.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be coming out with a consumer version, so consumers can log on and see some information about restaurants where they want to dine. And I can explain that a little bit later. But this is kind of the indispensable tool that a restaurant hostess would use at their podium when you would go into a restaurant, say like one of our restaurants is the 17th Street Cafe on the south side, Pizzaiola over in Mount Lebanon, Harris Grill in Shadyside. You just come in and there's a long wait, so the hostess would ask for your name and how many people in your party. And they would just put this into the application, and you can just type in anything to see how easy it is. So they say, okay, there's 3 people in my party. Oh, your name is Rob. If they want to ask you where you want to sit, that's, like the firehouse room. They'll say, it'll be about, 30 minutes before their table's ready. Why don't we take your phone number and we'll send you a text message while you wait. So you just put in the phone number. You just put in the phone number.
555.
Yeah. Well, this is a real live app. So whatever number you put in there, it's going to send a text message out.
Oh, we could have fun with this one. So, I got a few numbers for you.
Yeah, in 30 minutes.
You've just been seated at the Mayhem Studio, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow.
Did it work?
Yeah, it worked.
Yeah,
There you go.
Wow, that was a close one.
Your estimated wait is 30 minutes. We will buzz you when your table is ready.
Yeah, so immediately the restaurant can engage you as a customer, send out a message right away to confirm that you're in the queue and tell you, how long your wait's going to be. And then when your table is actually up, you can just hit that little wireless icon. Yeah, right there. Just confirm that you want to notify that person. Then bam, you immediately, you as the guest get another message that says, hey, that's not too long. Come on back, your table is ready. So we're trying to eliminate and reduce the frustration in that seating process at these kind of restaurants that don't take reservations.
Excellent. Rich, can you speak a little bit to what were some of the technical hurdles here? Of course, you guys were a startup. I mean, first you guys had a round of Alpha Lab funding. What point were you at when you were just getting into it?
Let's see. I moved down here to Austin in April, or I guess late April, May, and that's when I started with the NoWait guys kind of full time. And we just started picking up. I think we started Alpha Lab not too long after that. So I got started with the iPhone stuff. I have a computer science background, so I've done programming in the past, but this is my first foray into the iPhone stuff. But I think the important thing about this app is that it's an iPhone app, but there's also a large server component on the back end. Mm-hmm. So there's another one of our programmers, James Belt, has been doing a lot of stuff with PHP. So he's created a server API that communicates with the iPhone app so that the server can do things like manage the queue list. And so if the iPhone, if you shut down the application, you can always open it back up and relog in. And then, all the people that are waiting in line are still there. It also lets you have multiple devices running. So if there's more than one host of the restaurant and one has an iPad and one has the iPhone or two iPhones or whatever it may be, they can both be putting people into the queue and notifying people and things like that. So it's complicated in the sense that there's also kind of a server that you have to communicate with and make sure all those lines aren't crossing and things like that.
So this is more than just they buy the software. It's it's a service from beginning to end from you guys.
Right. Yeah. If you download the app itself, you need to have a login and password to use it. So it's similar to having, say, like the Bank of America app or the Discover Card app. You can download it, and then, you can't really do much with it until you log in with your username and password. But right now, when you download the application, there's a little bit of information down there that says, like, hey, if you'd like to learn more about NoWait, call this number or follow this link, and it takes you to kind of a mobile website. And we've had a few people actually contact us after downloading the app, and, it's only been out for 2 weeks. So it's been good for getting some leads there as well.
Yeah, it's actually been really surprising to us. I think in 2 weeks we've had 180 people just randomly download this app. Wow. And out of those, about 20 people have actually filled out our, contact us to set up a free account link, which we never really thought would happen. Right. We're going out to restaurants to demo it and explain it to get people to sign up that way. But so it's pretty encouraging that just random people from all over the country. We just got one from Canada today. Nice. Wow. We're not sure if we're ready to expand internationally. Gonna have to take that to the board.
Don't know the international restauranting laws.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Definitely. So you mentioned a couple places that are using this already. What are the hurdles? I think the first question would be people working in the restaurants. What's the technical hurdle? Is there any resistance in getting them to learn the system, use the system so far?
As Rob's got it in his hand, he can tell you it's probably pretty intuitive. A little bit of hurdles that we experienced early on. We were really focusing on the iPod Touch as our primary platform, just because it's so much cheaper. And I think, Richard, we actually started before the iPad came out. When did the iPad come out?
I think April.
It
was announced in January, I think.
Yep.
So we started
came out pretty recent. I think we had kind of gotten started a little bit, but yeah.
Yeah. So right about that time. So we did notice there was a little bit of a learning or skill curve with individuals trying to use the touch keypad on the iPod Touch. Those that had iPhones could just pick it up really quick. Those that were BlackBerry people were like, I hate this. So we kind of made the decision, working with some of our restaurants because of the speed and the size, to to go over to the iPad platform as well. So we actually offer both. The smaller restaurants tend to like the iPod Touch. It works for them. It's cheaper. The larger, busier restaurants go with the iPad version.
Mm-hmm.
And as Richard said, you can work them simultaneously.
The other technical thing, I mean, a lot of one route we could have gone is to make just a mobile web page to do a lot of this stuff, and a lot of companies are doing that instead of making a native application. But certainly, in this business, and for a host who's sitting there taking down a lot of names and numbers of people who are coming in, sometimes when it's very crowded, we wanted to have a native app so that it's fast, because there is still some server communication that's going on every time you make every time you save someone to the queue and every time you seat them, and those are pretty fast, so they have to wait like a second or so. But when you do it with a mobile website, usually just even entering names and changing fields and going back from page to page, like a lot of that loading is just a little too slow. So giving them like an actual native app on an iPhone or an iPad just speeds things up.
Did you guys explore other formats like maybe Android and everything, or was it the experience with the Apple platform that made you guys decide to go that way?
Well, one of the main reasons I think we went with Apple, certainly Rob, you can jump in, is that, again, as Rob had said earlier, this is a device for just the hosts. So once we actually make a consumer app, like an application where the consumers can log in and see like, okay, well, what restaurants using NoWait are out there and what are their wait times and things like that. Once we go to the consumer route, we'll certainly have to make, an iPad app, an Android app, or maybe just, make a mobile web page that can kind of go on all devices. And since this is something that is pretty much tailored just to the hosts and the restaurants, we wanted to make something that was a lot more, like a nice device, and everyone thinks that the iPad and the iPhone just look more professional when, someone's at their host stand and they're using it and entering people's names and numbers in. So that's the primary reason why we went with those devices.
There's a little bit. It seems to be a little bit of wow factor. A lot of restaurants have their wine list now on an iPad.
Right.
There's registers. There's Square we've been talking about where you can take credit cards on an iPhone. I mean, I was just experiencing the Apple Store. Like I've been saying this. It's you walk into an Apple Store, slide your card, feel like you stole a thing. This has been my kind of feeling. But it definitely sticks out when somebody's sitting there with a iPod or iPad. Since that's the kind of cool thing right now. So.
And there's really there's not much of a PDA market anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, I was a early Palm user back in like the late 90s, and everybody's just kind of walked away from the standalone PDA or even the Wi-Fi PDA. I don't think Palm makes anything but a phone now.
No.
Yeah.
So if you want quote unquote a PDA, an iPod Touch is the closest thing to a PDA.
Yeah.
And we looked at it as a $199 touchscreen computer.
Yeah.
And it's great for that application.
Definitely. So what's coming up for NoWait? Where are you guys aiming for?
Well, we're pretty excited to be kind of graduating, so to speak, out of the Alpha Lab program. We're currently talking to a whole bunch of investors to raise a little bit more money to do a big launch out in really the Philadelphia area in January.
Nice.
We think that's a pretty good market. So we're going to launch there. We're going to continue to develop restaurants in Pittsburgh, and try to get some people onto our network and prove the concept. On the business side, some of the cool things that we're doing on the consumer side is, like I said at the beginning, we're really trying to take the frustration out of the seating process. So on the consumer side, we're working on what we call the NoWait network. So as we get a lot of restaurants using our system, as Richard said, they're all on a database on our server. So we can aggregate all of those restaurants together, very similar to what OpenTable does for reservations. Then, and I have, we actually have this mocked up, and I'll just show it on my phone here, on a mobile web page. But we aggregate all those restaurants together, and then you, as a consumer, can just see, I don't know if you can see this.
Yeah, you can kind of see that. Yeah, I can bring it up.
Yeah.
You as a consumer can take a look at the restaurants that are around you based on your location.
Excellent.
See what their real-time waiting status is. And if you click the one at the bottom, say Monks, Monks is the whoops.
Got it.
Is that a palm?
It is a palm.
This is a palm.
Palm in the wild, you know. They're almost
That's
extinct.
the second one I've seen this week.
I've still got one on my desk from Verizon.
Hold it down a little bit, Rob.
Still in the box. Monk. There we go.
There you go.
I think they're endangered species, so I think.
Yeah, they really are.
So if you see that, it gives you the ability to then put your name and your number and your party size actually into this mobile app. And if you do that, you'll see it pop up on this iPad. So it's equivalent to making like a call ahead reservation at a restaurant.
Now this isn't public yet?
That part is not public yet. Really, we're concentrating on getting the restaurant app, the NoWait host app, out to some restaurants, getting that up and running. And then we'll be working on this in the next quarter.
Excellent. Well, I guess my last question is this going to be in my local Olive Garden anytime soon? Because I'm always waiting whenever I need to go to Olive Garden.
That's a great question. Olive Garden, the Darden Group, is a really innovative company. They were one of the first to use the coaster pagers. We think that we would really kind of replace that kind of concept.
Yeah.
We'd love to get into the Olive Garden, those kinds of chains. And we think, within probably 6 to 8 months, we could look at presenting a solution to them that would really save them money and create a better experience for their customers.
Excellent.
But if you go to our website, we actually have 2 websites. I think the one you showed at the beginning is kind of our marketing website. That's NoWaitApp.com. That has information for restaurants, about our product features and everything like that. We're just starting to develop a consumer website. And this is where, everyday people would go to see restaurants that are in the NoWait network. This website is called FindNoWait.com. And if you go to kind of cycle through a couple of pages there, you'll actually see the 10 restaurants in Pittsburgh that we've tested at. We're currently at 4 restaurants there, and you can check that out and get the NoWait experience for yourself.
Excellent. Let's go check that out. It's always great to see, local guys doing, well, except for you in Texas, but local companies doing, innovative things here. We always like to support them. So everybody, check them out. And Olive Garden, please.
All right.
We really appreciate being on your show.
No problem, anytime. This is what we like to do. Just to get the word out and check out new technology firsthand. So thanks a lot, guys. Stick around. We're going to be talking about the news of the day. I know we were talking about a little bit in the pre-show. So we'll get right into that. And you guys can chime in with whatever you want to, whatever's been interesting you this week. So
cool.
Well, let's see, Rob. What do we want to talk about our new netbooks we're going to be getting? Because we completely signed up. Well, I don't know if you did. I know I did today.
I need to sign up. Hang on, let me flip through all the Google stories that simultaneously released this week.
Yeah. No, not just this week. At 10 a.m. Pacific time today. But of course, they were talking about the Chrome OS. Of course, there is a web store. Oh, well, let's touch on that first. Let's go in order of the announcement. I caught a little bit later, so I didn't catch everything about their web apps. But here it is, right here. Is their web store, the Amazon Windows Shop. See, a lot of these really feel like, and I haven't installed and really played around with it, but like you got an eBay deals, you got this. Aside from like the video games they have apparently going on here, it doesn't feel like more than just like it's in my web browser.
Yeah, well, I mean that's a large part of the point. I mean, ever since anybody has been talking about Chrome OS, it's all basically. Like, we make fun of Chrome OS and we say that, Chrome OS and Android, it's basically like a glorified web browser is the idea. And I mean, like, when the iPhone was first released, there was no app store, and the idea was that you were going to have, all of your apps were going to be in the cloud. They were all going to be web-based, and there was no idea for an app store. So Google is still kind of, playing around with this idea. The first step is their app store, that you're showing there. But something that, an idea a lot of people have been kind of mentioning lately offhandedly is when I talk about my iPhone and my iPad, like there's a lot of things where like it's the cool toy that whenever somebody says, oh, you have the iPhone and the iPad, you say, oh, check out this cool app and this one that does this. And oh, you have to have this one. It's really cool. It does this thing. Not many people say that about Android phones. When was the last time somebody like showed you an Android phone? It was like, oh, hey, there's this great thing you can only get on Android, and it does this awesome thing. Not to bash Android, I'm just saying that like the development in Android is not nearly as rampant as it is on the Apple platform, and as a result, like what you're saying is you look at the App Store, the chrome.google.com/web store, and I see like New York Times, Box.net, and a bunch of kids games. Like I see absolutely nothing on the front page. That
although
really...
what you do have, which shocked me, is Plants vs. Zombies for free in your web browser.
Yeah, that's kind of a big deal.
A lot of people lost productivity today thanks to this story. I couldn't get it to work at work. Okay, honest. But
I couldn't get it to work. I swear.
That's tremendous.
Yeah.
That's pretty tremendous. Just like I absolutely didn't experiment with the Ustream broadcaster last week on my iPhone while I was waiting for a video review.
And of course, the other question here is how difficult is it to produce something for the web store? Is it like, where do you want to put your money? Do you want to put your money in creating a mobile website that works really well on, say, the Galaxy Tab, the iPad, the iPhone, anything with a mobile browser, or do you want to tack on more cash and develop something just for the web store? Like, right now, I don't necessarily see the retail sense in developing for the web store just yet, and we'll get into the netbook, which is basically a browser. It's a hardware browser.
Before that, Rich, have you heard anything about development for this platform?
No, I just saw recently that one of my friends works at a company that made iPad and iPhone apps. Also now have their app ready for this, the Chrome Web Store. But I'm not sure how long they've been working on basically taking their iPad app and moving it to this. So it may be something that they did pretty quick, and it's it's pretty straightforward. But I haven't really looked into it yet.
Yeah. It's it generally, I mean, how is stuff that comes from Google as far as developers? I know about the community and everything, but how much they kind of help out as far as that goes.
As far as I know, everything in the web stores, they're basically touting the flexibility of HTML5.
Yeah.
So there isn't going to be much as to an SDK or anything like that. It's basically going to be like develop an app in HTML5 and
you'll be gold.
You're good to go. Oh wait, you can do that in any browser? Oh, hold the phone. Oh no!
Isn't that how Apple tried to start it? Not HTML5. But still, yeah. But of course, then like we mentioned, the laptop.
Yeah.
Or I'm sorry, it's a netbook. It's a netbook.
It is a netbook. It is the CR48.
Yeah, there was some reason they called it the 48 too. It was something with the developers, but I missed it. They're definitely not as engaging of presentations with Google.
No, I mean they're about as good with their presentations as they are with their interface design.
So do you think this Chrome browser is going to compete against the Android tablets? What market is it aiming towards?
I don't even.
Oh, they were very they were very clear. Android is going to be for tablets. This is for laptops, netbooks. This is for computers. And I think I'm trying to bring up the laptop here. I think from the little bit, again, I just caught the tail end of this presentation. But it really seemed that at least that part was aiming towards this. We talked a little bit before the show. This return to the dummy netbooks. I think you said, Rob. You don't need to do much with them. Hopefully not service them too much. Cisco's very involved with the development to get some of their applications and collaboration stuff on there. That's supposed to be out early next year. So other than that, I think it feels like it's for the people that kind of like we talked about the BlackBerry versus iPhone earlier. It's for the people that aren't quite ready, for just this thing with the tablet.
Yeah.
They want the keyboard. They want something more familiar, but lighter, and they don't have to worry so much about.
Yeah.
So.
And this is, They didn't mention the word Flash, so this is going to be like the very exclusive HTML5 wall.
Oh wow,
garden.
you think? You think they're doing they're pushing the Flash embargo as well?
They would have to develop an add-on for the Chrome web browser in the Chrome OS.
They're going to have extensions, so why not that?
Well, there's a difference between an extension and an add-on. They would have to get Adobe support. And I mean, I'm sure Adobe would be all about it, but I mean, nothing was mentioned, and I think, let's see, we've got WebGL standards, tired of using Adobe's Glacial Reader for plugin PDF viewing needs? Google agrees and has decided to create their own. So, like, stuff like that, where they basically said, you tired of Adobe software? Forget them. We don't need those punks.
Here's the netbook here. There's a little slideshow going on. It's a very simple, unbranded. Who makes the netbook? Did they say?
I just got coffee on my nose. Awesome. They did.
I should have gave you the one with the lid. I'm sorry. I gave you a choice, and you chose poorly.
I did choose poorly. It is unbranded. They haven't said anything as far as specs, RAM, processors, amount of storage, or anything. They've just said that it will be fast. And
love those specs.
Yes, it'll be fast, pretty, solid state too, which makes me question how cheap it's going to be.
Yeah.
It'll have Ethernet, Wi-Fi, and 3G. There's no mention of any LTE.
Oh, that
4G,
was the interesting part. Speaking of 3G, I think AJ, who's been on the show before, mentioned they're going to have a deal with Verizon.
Mm-hmm.
Free Verizon, or no, I mean, is it free with Verizon? 100 megabytes, $10 a month?
Yeah, it's 100 megabytes free data transfer per month, no contract required. So basically, you buy the device, you already have 100 megabytes, but 100 megabytes isn't much, especially when every single thing you're going to be doing on this is in the cloud. So
but that's for grandma that needs to check her email.
Yeah, that's
that's the $9.95 access dial-up plan for netbooks.
Exactly, as long as she's not watching any video.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Which is going to be unfortunate because it's going to be way too easy to do that, I think.
And they have also said above and beyond that, for the rest of us who actually use the internet, if anybody needs more than 100 megabytes of 3G data, you'll be able to buy day passes and flexible plans. So it looks like they're really trying to stray away from any kind of contract deals and more dealing with your data as you see fit, which is a pretty good idea.
So hopefully they've learned from the Samsung Tab craziness going on right now. Some other stuff they say they left out here that say no spinning disc. Of course, we talked about the solid state. No caps lock key. All you chat room people will be...
No more yelling on the internet.
No more yelling on the internet. Everybody, this is the quieter internet as promoted by Google. I think I'm saying one to a lot of the Mayhem crew for our chat rooms. Like there, Mad Mike right now in the chat room. He gets one. You get a netbook. And you get a netbook. And you get a netbook. It's my favorite thing. No function keys and lap burns, so they say. So I guess it's going to run cool. That makes sense because there's nothing. Yeah. There shouldn't be anything moving in this thing.
And it should have an astounding battery life.
Yeah, it is maybe the iPad of netbooks. Is it too early for that?
So it's an iPad with a keyboard. Oh, I said it. Ruined.
It's got a bigger screen. It's got a bigger screen. It's probably cheaper. So, what do you guys think of this wonderful God netbook that may be coming?
It's the God book. We're gonna call it the CR48.
I'm trying to coin all these now so we can get credit for these terms.
Just throw out everything you can.
Anything.
Iterate, man. And something's gonna come up, right?
It's a coffee book.
It's a coffee book.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We'll see. It's an interesting venture into hardware. We saw what happened last time they did this with the Nexus 1, and what they'll be doing with the Nexus S. They are selling it. Well, right now you can get in on the preview thingy.
They had several different ways to get this. I think they said they had a quiz up on. They're still yelling in the chat room. It's my fault. I told you the wrestling guys creep in here a little early.
But you can go to google.com/Chrome or google.com/Chrome OS. You'll end up there somehow.
There's a quiz to see if you're webby enough for this.
Really?
Yes, I took it. I got about an 8 out of 10.
Really?
Malengo got a 6 out of 10.
You are worthy.
Yeah.
What type of user? Oh, this is exciting.
I think you get a 10 out of 10 if you select everything that has to do with Google.
Yeah.
I mean, just to give you a little hint there. So,
What would Google do?
Say I'm a developer and get into this.
I was honest. I was very honest with that.
I'm technically a developer.
I'm just like, oh, we want to implement this in clients to see how we can implement it. And I maybe fibbed a little bit because I'm like, let's see how we can use this in place of iPads that we currently use for familiarity, which I think would make sense. Right. I mean, I think, like I said, this is the comfortable thing. I hand my grandfather an iPad. I don't think he's gonna do as well with it as just a little netbook.
Let's see, which operating system do you use most of the time? What web browser? Chrome, of course. Yeah.
And I'm honest. Well, that's an honest thing, so I do use it.
Autofill. I don't use themes. I do use sync, and I do use extensions. And how can I say I use apps from the Chrome Web Store the most when it just opened? I will not lie.
Well, no. Wait a minute, because isn't it? Do you use Google Apps? And that's like the business apps, I thought.
It says if you select Chrome as your the web browser you use most of the time, which features do you use? I don't use the apps from the. I do now, I guess. Sure.
I mean, but then later it kind of refers to Google Docs as an app. So I just put I'm not sure and just went with it. But anyways.
Smartphone do I use? Oh, I'm sorry, it's not an Android.
You're gonna get docked.
Yeah, it's a point system.
How do you check your email? AOL, absolutely.
Wait, is that an option? Really?
That's like the key. They just put that one in there to give a dump for.
I bet if you click that, it just shuts down the application.
It just deletes your file entirely.
I'm sorry, you're not allowed on the internet anymore. But like you mentioned, the Galaxy, the Nexus X?
Nexus S?
Yes.
I feel like I want to get everyone who's in charge of naming devices together in a room and explain some basics. And get the people at Samsung together with the people at Google and tell them that only one of you can have an S, okay?
But it is a Samsung phone.
Oh, 3GS.
Right?
Sound familiar?
Yeah. But I mean, I don't.
S stands for speed, Rob.
Yeah. S does stand for speed. You can google.com/phone/detail/nexus-s. On the T-Mobile network, let's see, astounding features. It is slightly thicker than the iPhone 4.
Mm-hmm.
I'm comparing. Let's see, 4.137.
These Samsungs. I actually got my hands. Everybody was passing me their phone at work on Friday. That's where I saw the other Palm. But somebody had one of these Samsung phones. They were slick. I like them. Yeah. I like them more than the Tab. So
let's see. We've got 512 megs of RAM.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a fun stat: 16,384 megabytes of internal storage. 16 gigs was too much to ask for. 428 hours standby time, 6 hours of talk time. 6 hours? Yeah. That seems low. Am I crazy? No, that's not bad.
It's about average. It
is the super Droid phone. So
7 hours on the iPhone 4. So that's pretty standard. 5 megapixel camera, 1 gigahertz Cortex, USB 2.0,
and apparently, I got the ad playing here. If you haven't seen that over there, apparently this is in addition to the Windows Phone commercials, because everybody's looking at their feet.
Everybody's looking at their feet,
which I think is even more dangerous than what they've been showing.
Yeah. So if you know nothing about the phone and you watch the ad, you get the impression that it is either a transportation device or a shoe store.
Yeah, because you see his shoes about 95% of the ad, and there's a phone, and he's doing something, but we had to stop. We're not walking while we're doing it, so they're practicing safe texting.
So again, this is going to be sold directly through Google. It is $199 on contract, $529 if you want unlocked.
And same as before, with T-Mobile under contract, and you can't get it unlocked and put it on AT&T. And once again, you're stuck on the Edge network.
Yep.
So if you're a masochist, that's the perfect deal for you.
That's due out December 16th.
Yeah, there you go. It's we kind of saw the direction after the first Nexus, and then we got our Droids, we got our Samsungs. The phones seemed a lot better after there was that big sample phone.
Yeah. Hopefully, though, because this is being sold directly through Google, and there was the whole kerfuffle involving Google tech support being awful.
But really, is Verizon much better? From what I've been hearing lately,
I don't have any. I think actually people said like the big thing was that it was worse than Verizon, and that people were very angry. And basically, it was you would call up, and it was just like how Google handles their interface design. They didn't have a clue what they were doing, so it was kind of like you called up and you were handed over to an engineer who didn't know how to speak not English as a language, but English as a communication device. If you weren't speaking in logarithms or something involving a whiteboard, they didn't really want to have anything to do with you. And that was it. So hopefully they don't have that problem again. Looks like they'll be selling through Best Buy as well.
Best Buy's getting a lot of those lately.
Best Buy is getting a lot. Yeah.
Go Best Buy.
The mobile market is keeping Best Buy alive. Didn't you know that?
Well, I remember I sat on a whole speech about mobile and business in Best Buy that one time. I don't know if you were at that one. That was a good one. Shall we close off this Google block? I think we have one more story.
One more Google story.
Yeah.
Ooh, kind of a big deal.
Kind of a big deal. Groupon may or may not, or maybe never was, being bought by Google.
Well, they were.
They were.
Sort of.
It was official, yeah.
Yeah, it was an official attempt at a deal.
I've heard so much back and forth and speculating over the last 7 days, I have no idea anymore.
Basically, Google came to the table with $2 billion in change. And
pocket change,
which is basically just interest on their current cash. And Groupon said, you know what? No, that's okay. We're good. We don't need your $2 billion. We're pretty sure we're gonna stand on our own.
Hey, I am a fan of Groupon. They got kind of thrown under the bus. I know on Twit last week, saying there's facials and there's all this other crap. No. I got Scarehouse tickets on this thing for half price.
Yeah,
I have a luxury Steelers cruise I have yet to take because I can't schedule worth crap. What else did we get off of that? I got some movie tickets, which you pointed out were the same as your Monday night deals that you go down there for on Southside Works.
Yes.
I mean, and get a spa treatment for your wife while you're at it. I mean, it's good stuff. There's so many I've wanted to click on. Duquesne basketball games? Well, it came up like a couple weeks ago. And I was like, I didn't even know Duquesne had basketball. I should go to a game. You're discovering your surroundings. And I hear smaller towns are actually getting some of these deals pretty well, too. One of the big things about why they didn't think this worked out is because, of course, Google, we know, they pick up a lot of developers. The host stated, they pick up companies that do things with algorithms.
Yep.
And Groupon is very much people powered.
Yeah.
It's a sales team. It's a giant sales team, and they're doing very well for it.
Mm-hmm. Other random news of large money figures. Google also, while dropping pocket change on the streets, purchased a city block in Manhattan. For
I heard a little bit of this.
$9 billion. It is the
and they're giving it back to the Indians.
It is, but it
Too
is
soon.
Right now, there's an ISP in there. It is one of the most connected buildings on the planet.
Huh. Wow.
It is also the third most expensive property available in Manhattan. It's just massive, and it's across the street from a place where they're renting offices. So they've got some big plans. And also, the other big news that I thought you were going to talk about when you said the other Google story. See, it's a Google week.
Oh, wow.
We're not talking about Apple this week. It's all Google. Ebooks. The Google eBook store.
I downloaded that. I didn't get to check it out yet.
So the biggest deal here, just to crunch it down, so it's Google eBooks, so you can go to their the eBook store. in a browser, so it'll work on the netbook. See, it all ties together. But it's basically, you can buy a book in the ebook store and access it no matter what device you're using. So you can use the Nook, Sony e-reader, iPhone, iPad, iPod Touch, any Android device, or any laptop or netbook. So they are now going head-to-head with the Kindle, because the only device you can't read these books on is the Kindle. Yeah. So they went from having very little to do with the books market. There was all the stuff that went through 2 years ago where they were trying to get like the Library of Congress online and everything to just coming to the forefront and basically saying, forget the iBook store, forget Amazon. How about we make it so you don't have to figure out what store you bought it on? No matter what device you're using, you can just get it through us. And also, as publishers come through, I mean, what would you say? Would you say, well, we can go to Amazon and be available on the Kindle, or we can go to Google and be available on everything else?
Yeah, it's let's see. So you got the Kindle, we got the Nook, we got what else is out there? There's Sony e-reader, which looks like they're compatible with.
Yep.
So then we have iBooks. Don't forget about that.
Yeah.
Which
iBooks
isn't
on the iPad.
iPhone as well.
Yeah.
So, you know, as long as you live in an Apple world, you're good there. I mean, it'll be on your Apple TV soon. I'll read books on my TV. That'll be fantastic. That's coming full circle. There you go. While we're at it. So Jim Lokay can have a complete book experience. It's I don't know. It's too many places. I don't know what the availability is like. I haven't really ventured into these. I just wish more of them were on Audible, personally. So it's, I like that it's given life to it. There was some talk today on Mac Break about how bad it is to try to get your book into these services sometimes.
Yeah.
Is pretty, you know.
I think DRM is certainly going to be a problem. They did, I think it was Google. Pretty sure Google just acquired somebody. They just acquired somebody who does the, I could be making things up. Could be another large company like Apple. Or Comcast. Somebody just acquired the DRM company that handles Netflix's DRM.
Really?
May or may not be relevant to the current story.
And that's what we call homework for the audience.
It's using Adobe Digital Edition's DRM. So there you go. DRM is taken care of. Which
I didn't know. Then Adobe does a fantastic job with these formats. So
they're great with their DRM.
Yeah. They have. Since when do they do DRM?
Well, the EPUB format and all that.
Well, okay.
Yeah. So they've got. I mean, it's kind of a perfect storm as far as I'm concerned. From the consumer standpoint. From the consumer standpoint. I mean, I'm like you, Mike. I'm more a fan of Audible just because rarely do I have the time to sit down and enjoy a book.
Yeah.
I'm usually multitasking, cleaning, working, coding, designing, whatever, and I need to listen to something, so that works fine for me. But for the few ebooks that I'd be looking to get, like, I wish I had a Kindle, they're cool, or I could use the iBook store, but there's no books in the iBook store. It seems like the smartest thing to do as a consumer would be to buy every book you have in the Google store, as long as it's available, because it'll be available on any device you happen to be using, as long as you don't have a Kindle. Yeah.
But versus, the Kindle's everywhere. So what's the difference?
I don't know if it's everywhere.
Well, you have to buy a Kindle.
You have to buy a Kindle.
No, the Kindle's on the iPad, on your computer, on an iPhone, on an Android device. I think BlackBerry even.
The Kindle app, not the Kindle hardware. Right.
Actually, I mean, that's what they're advertising. Their latest ad is basically buy it on the Kindle. Yeah. I don't know if you've seen that ad, but if they're advertising against iBook, because if you buy it on the Apple, then you go to an Android. Then you're.
Yeah, I think they're specifically like, well, I want to take my.
Yeah, and there is a Kindle app for the for OS X and Windows. But it's not format. It's not based in the web though. So if you have the Chrome netbook, you're screwed.
or are you? I mean, they already have. I'd imagine Kindle's going to be on.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. I mean, they already have an app. This is what happens when we get in person here. This doesn't convey so well over a webcam. So yeah, I think yeah, you're going to have that. Chrome's going. If this Chrome has any legs under it, you're going to. By the time it gets to the point where people who would have bought iPads have a Chrome OS instead, and all those business people, come on, they're going to have Kindle. So, but they can get started with these ebooks.
They could. Currently, 3 million free ebooks available.
Oh,
Wow.
But like half of that is the Gutenberg library, I'm pretty sure.
Excellent. So,
so moving on from Google, what do we got?
Is there any WikiLeaks?
WikiLeaks?
Yeah, no, I didn't want to get into WikiLeaks too much because it's so political and stuff, and that's a whole other mess of who knows what. I just looked at my title and realized what I left in there.
What is it?
Video and web dude. I kind of put it in there for fun last night. And
it's honest.
Yeah, it is. I'm a dude, and I'm on video on the web.
Right.
But the interesting thing with WikiLeaks is this whole... Man, Joseph Lieberman keeps coming up with stuff that I'm interested in. First, it was video games. Now it's taken my webs away from me. They're playing a cat and mouse game, and of course, we talked about I think a little bit last week about the DNS stuff where they were.
That was oddly unrelated.
Oddly it was, but but now it's becoming more of a trend. We did talk about last week that they're confiscating through ICANN, which is an American body.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, there you go. So they're confiscating them for stuff like torrents and copy protection. Now they're although sites like Amazon deny it, supposedly they may be strong-arming some of these companies to not provide their services, taking away funding opportunities, .coms, .nets, letter combinations I've never heard of before. Everything down to, well, you can still get to it if you have the IP address. And I guess this has been going since late last week.
Yeah, and this has created a war zone on the internet, basically.
Yeah, it's the first true info wars.
It really is, because you have let's see, so WikiLeaks loses their DNS record to ICANN dealings.
DNS, let's explain the main name server.
Yeah, so basically just the for those of you unfamiliar, listen to last week's show. But basically the name, whenever you type in a whatever.com, there's a giant registry passed on through thousands of servers all around the world to keep track of what...
I like to explain it as a giant phone book.
It is a giant phone book. A giant phone book inside of a set of tubes.
In the sky.
But
making text simple.
Yeah. So what the ICANN basically does when they take away a DNS record is they make it so when you type in so on and so forth.com, it doesn't go anywhere. The IP address still exists, so it's basically the house still exists on the block, but the mailman doesn't know where to deliver the mail.
Wow, that's impressive.
Thank you.
It's like you're a journalist or something. Explain this.
Like I write or something. So that's down. And then our friends over at 4chan, Anonymous, decides to declare war on PayPal because PayPal took away the WikiLeaks account. So they didn't have access to that anymore. And there's also word of them fighting wars against Amazon. Because Amazon was their, weren't they hosting through Amazon?
They were hosting on their S3 service and got cut off. Now, here's the interesting part there. They apparently cited they were posting something they shouldn't have, which the only apparent clarification of that in their terms of service is a copyright infringement.
Yeah.
And last anybody checked, government documents are not copywritten.
Yeah, it's actually...
per se.
It's technically a public record kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Freedom of Information Act and all that good stuff. Something that Molly Wood from CNET, wow, I put the wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable, from CNET was saying is that everybody's saying the reason they're being taken down is because all this stuff is illegal. Actually, there's nothing illegal about anything they've done. Funny story. Nothing at all. Nope. Possibly some kind of like making public of private documents. Sort of like, you shouldn't have done that, but it's not illegal. There's nothing illegal about making it available, really. There's nothing illegal about
But damn it, they're trying. There's several things going in that they're trying to shove through Congress and everything.
This is basically just a giant panic. And they're saying there's got to be something they're doing wrong. Somebody check their tax return. Or,
Yeah.
And they've been labeled as basically an enemy of the state for sharing private political documents.
The thing that blew my mind was I heard that they froze his accounts in Sweden. I thought you go to Sweden to hide your money. I didn't know they could do that.
Switzerland.
I mean, Switzerland?
Switzerland.
Sweden, Switzerland. Okay.
And the reason
I need to work on my geography.
That was like, and that's one of the first things they did because it was the obvious thing he did wrong. He made the mailing address on the bank account his lawyer's address, which is illegal.
Yeah, and they got him on that.
Yeah, he wasn't allowed to do that, and they didn't even they didn't like prevent access to his money. They basically said you can take your money, but not have it in our bank. So he will get his money out of the bank. He just can't use that bank.
Yeah, a lot of money.
It's not that big of a deal.
So
stick it under your mattress. You'll be fine.
Yeah. And for those who don't know, the WikiLeaks have been in the news. Turn on CNN at this point. I'm sure it's all over the place.
If you haven't heard the word WikiLeaks at least 500 times this week, you should really try crawling out from underneath that rock you're under.
Yeah, it's in the New York Times, I think, published the information originally.
Mm-hmm.
They published some papers about stuff going on in Iraq. They published some commentary about what we think about other government leaders.
Well, this is mostly the other funny thing is that the last leak was all Army.
Security.
It was all security based, Army
locations of bases,
military information. Yeah. This one is mostly cables, so information passed back and forth between dignitaries and things like that. Basically, people trash talking other politicians. So once you get politicians involved, hang on a second, let's close his bank account. It's all serious now that people are calling each other names, and now it's basically people who did have gambling cards. They don't have cards on their deck anymore because somebody heard somebody else call them fat.
And we won't get much more into politics.
That's
not us. That's not awesome at all. The other thing that happened, I watched it. Did you guys? 60 Minutes.
Oh yeah.
Always fun to hear 60 Minutes explain Facebook on a level that Andy Rooney can understand. Was my
what
take
is
on
this thing called a typewriter?
I mean, I always mistake every woman on there for Barbara Walters, and they'll look the same to me. But I mean, I wish. You okay? Did you spittle that out again?
Almost. They all look the same to me. That's fine. Don't let Missy hear that.
Oh, I mean on 60 Minutes.
Oh, right, on 60 Minutes.
Ladies on 60 Minutes.
Yeah, nice save.
And
nice
Andy
save.
Rooney.
Yeah.
But basically, they got to have a nice little interview to unveil the grand new. My profile is different. I activated it, I think. I don't know if I looked at my profile since.
It's pretty nice. It's what it does is it gives you a nice little photo flow at the top. It'll pick like 5 or 6 images from what you've been tagged in to show off like photos of you, and as the owner of your profile, you can pick which ones show up in there. It also truncates your information as far as who you are, how old you are, where you work, where you went to school. It used to be, the layout of tables, and now it's basically one paragraph, really short, and then your activity on Facebook. Fun little top secret. Makes a whole lot more room for ads. Sure does. Clears up that space.
And the interesting part also was they said that it like, oh look, all that personal information they want you to fill out is right in the front, so it makes you want to do that more. Let's see. I'm actually here. You can go over to profile. Let's see, Facebook. See if I can get that .com up here again. It's out there somewhere. Just look up the new page. You'll get it. But you go in here. I'm going to do it right now. Get the new profile, and then it shows everybody my phone number. I'm sure. Oh, it's just as messy, but with pictures on top. Yeah, and I guess this you can organize on the left that order of people that are important. Like my wife's at the top. Riz, who often writes into the Mayhem Show. Ray Rowe, who's a wrestler that moved into Texas, and he likes beating people up. So there, it's completely accurate right off the bat. So wow. So it's interesting, and this is completely opt-in. Is the other thing on this.
That's the important thing. It is an opt-in process. So they maybe learn something, because from the past, everything has been like, we don't care what you think, we know better than what you think, so here, have what we think you
and
think.
Along with this, we had Zuckerberg on 60 Minutes saying we've made a lot of mistakes. We're like anybody else. We're not perfect. I'm only 26. Yeah, just rub it in.
I feel like we've been through this before, though. I mean, they have done, every once in a while they do something right, and then they do something incredibly wrong. So we'll see where this goes.
Yep. Where's the next Facebook buzz?
Yeah. But and also, once you opt in, you cannot opt out.
Nope, I am screwed.
Yes.
One Direction.
Well, I'm sure they will roll it out for everybody eventually, probably in the next few months.
It really doesn't. Oh, my mic just went
Your
out.
mic just died there, Chief.
My mic just died. It's alright, let's talk louder.
Man down!
Man down! Man down, it's alright. You go ahead and take this, Rob.
Okay. I don't have to talk loudly. But, yeah, so there's no taking it back. They're certainly going to roll it out for everybody you're good, in a few months. And then there will be like 1 million people left that will complain and start groups and say, give me back my old
I think they're
profile.
going to circumvent the groups a little bit here with this opt-in.
Have you found any use for the new quote-unquote groups?
Because
I haven't.
Well,
not me.
I thought it'd be a really good idea because I had a couple people that had a video project they wanted to do. I'm like, oh, I'll start a group and I'll include them. And anytime I see them online, I'll talk to them. And apparently we're on completely different schedules because it's not worked out at all. Oh, look, somebody actually commented to me on the Mayhem Show one.
Ooh.
Somebody started one for their fan page. Yeah, really haven't seen it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we could be talking like complete Luddites, but I feel we're pretty well connected in tech and everything. And I don't know a single person who uses a group, talks about a group, cares about the group, pays any attention.
I'm
to
sure
it.
like teenagers have figured it out.
They're probably all the same people who are still using Buzz.
This is where the teenagers go. And they talk about the Buzz.
It's where all the
Somebody's there, right?
It's where all the Bieber fans are.
Wow. Wow.
Got to get Justin Bieber in here somewhere.
There you go. Well, I think that's all the big news for this week, Rob. Unless you guys, anybody else have anything they want to include this week before we go?
I think we covered it pretty well. So,
Google, Facebook,
yes.
All right, there you go. And for everybody that was mad that we talked about Apple all the damn time,
yeah, take that.
There you go. In
your face.
Okay, I guess the app was on iPads and stuff, but that's hey, that's fine. That's fine. You guys are talking about Android, so that's still good.
Yeah, that counts.
That counts.
Exactly. Slid under the wire.
There you go. Well, thanks again, Rob and Richard, for coming on. Against that's NoWaitApp.com if you want to check that out. And what was that other one people can check out?
FindNoWait.com.
FindNoWait.com.
Yeah, that's our consumer site. Yeah, thanks a lot for having us. It was great.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Great fun. You guys are fun to listen to and like to experience it firsthand.
Yeah, you are the first. You are the first in studio for the AwesomeCast. Yeah. We've done a few remote deals, but this is the first time that you've graced the couch.
So this is
so it's usually
double awesome.
It's usually friends. It's usually friends and professional wrestlers, to be honest. Hence the banner.
We like to spice up the tech with the pro wrestlers now and then.
Yeah. And I'm just waiting for the point where some of the wrestlers are coming in and crossing with the tech guys, and who knows what's going to happen.
You are wrong about Apple.
I am on AOL.
Somebody's going to come in and smash an iPad over my head.
I've seen keyboards used in wrestling. They make you remember that scene from Wanted where the letters? Well, it's pretty fantastic. If they do it right. So, again, thanks again, guys. Anything else coming up with you guys outside of NoWait you want to plug? You might be involved in Alpha Lab, of course. Check them out, alphalab.org. I believe it is.
Yep, that's it. I think they're going to be announcing their new class coming in here in January, so that's pretty exciting.
Excellent.
See the latest crop of entrepreneurs in Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the new round of. Man, I wish I would have thought of that.
But you didn't.
No, never do. How about for you, Richard?
No, that's it. That covers it.
Excellent. Rob, what's up with you this week?
This week, well, we're not shooting the baristas.
No, we're not.
We're not.
Snow.
Because we have snow. And the place that we're shooting it at is on a hill, as many things in Pittsburgh are. So that's a no-go. But besides that, doing the Macworld thing. I've got a new editor. His his professional alias is Blarg, so that's exciting.
That's fantastic. so your boss's name is Blarg.
My boss's name is Blarg.
As opposed to anybody else that wants to just kind of call their boss.
Yeah.
Blarg.
As opposed to previously
Yeah.
my executive editor, I am now corresponding with Blarg. So I'm not sure where I am in the world. But besides,
But this is
that,
the lot you're given.
Yes, this is what I'm giving. So I'm starting a nonprofit. That's exciting. The whole
really?
the whole biking thing. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
cool.
Flock of Cycles. I still have. I said I was going to have that website done like 3 weeks ago. I should probably do that. And so when that website is up, I can tell you about it.
Excellent.
Yeah. And some other stuff. I might have some big news soon. Hopefully soon.
I think we're both working on a couple big news items.
Yeah.
To hopefully announce
so.
here in future.
It will involve. I'm going to be celebrating my big news. I'll tell you that.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to be celebrating by having breakfast, lunch, and dinner at Fatheads.
Wow.
Yeah. That is an undertaking.
Wait, we're talking at the same time, or you're just going to be at Fatheads that long?
I'm going to be at Fatheads the entire day.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yes,
Can't wait to hear
sounds
about
good.
that.
I look forward to that. I think I want to live stream it, so that might be a thing. Yeah.
Do you have Wi-Fi there?
Yes. I think.
This is.
We can.
We'll talk.
We can
We'll
tap
talk.
into Brugger's.
This might be a special edition.
Yeah.
The Rob De La Creta show,
Yeah.
courtesy Fatheads.
It's a terrible name.
It's a terrible name.
It's a terrible name.
We can make it a marathon and take
Watch me get
donations for
fat.com.
charity. Watch me get fat.com. Excellent. And of course, with me, everything I'm going over on sorgatronmedia.com is where all of our shows, including this, is. We have a new video. Got a chance to go out to the Stuff-A-Bus where the local Kiss Morning Freak Show guys, Mikey and Big Bob, were doing their Stuff-A-Bus. Did I say that twice? Went on the RV, had a very intimate interview with them. Go check that out right there. Big thanks to PittsburghOnVideo.org for posting anything I'll throw at them and featuring a couple of things.
Yeah.
Right now, when I checked earlier, Chachi's on the front page in that little scrolly thing they got going on. I also want to give props out to the techbuzz.net. Again, like I say, we did a crash course in Wirecast here. See, we kind of spiffed it up this week. Hopefully you're actually getting this and I didn't screw it up. But he's got some great tutorials over there if you're interested in Wirecast and everything for podcast development like this. Please go check out the techbuzz.net. He's got a great tech show. He does 3 days a week because he's way crazier than I am. But then again, I do 3 shows in a night. So so there you go. And what else is going on? Please give some feedback. What's our contact again? It'll be on the thing. We got a couple emails. I can't remember which ones we put up. I didn't make titles for them yet.
Contact@awesomecast.com or something.
Yes. Or awesomecast@sorgatronmedia.com.
Yes.
I think was the other one I had set up. Please hit that up. We have a voicemail as well. That'll come up here in a second.
I'm going to start calling our voicemail with fake names and voices. And leaving questions for myself to answer.
And please give us feedback on how this went. Do you like stuff we're bringing in here? The guests, anybody suggest you think we should be checking out? It doesn't have to be just in Pittsburgh.
Yeah. And if certainly if you have anything you think the internet should check out, if you have something going on, if you've got a new project you want to talk about, shoot it our way. And if we think it's cool enough to be on the AwesomeCast, like our friends here, then shoot us an email. Or if you want to ask me what I had for lunch, shoot us an email. Whatever you want to do. We need emails, people.
Let us feel the love. Give us any feedback. Thanks. I'm Sorg for Rob, and Richard.
Yeah.
You're our awesome audience. We'll see you next week.